Now then, here's the deal. I just want to show you this before I carry on. This is on my website. I've put these are not all my predictions, I have a different book for that, but these are kind of like updating some old predictions. Now on this page, I have to go here because it's relevant. It'll tell you about what the European Union is, actually a blueprint for the New World Order, which have heard everything from Bush Senior to Bush Junior to British Prime Ministers and European leaders as well. Okay, about going about this New World Order. It's all folding up now, by the way. But here's the thing, right now then. Originally, before what I'm going to tell you, before all this happened, the idea was to they knew at some point that they were going to be challenged, and what they did, the euro was to get all the 20 odd countries under one currency. They couldn't go around bankrupting each currency because people would get suspicious. So they created this thing called the Union. They give them billions to build roads and everything, and then said, right, bang, now we own you, and now we want our money back. Billions and billions in loan, and every country now in Europe is struggling. Okay. But the thing is that was the blueprint. Now what they had to do then they created the North American Union. Now I started blogging this back in 2007. Here's the proof. Union of North America. The North American Union was North America, Mexico, and Canada joining up to one currency, and these are the specimens here, and you can see the date here. 2007. You see, you know, people just finding out this now, but this is how long I've been blogging about this stuff for years, my friends, trust me. And these were the actual specimen notes. And if you do your homework, you'll find out all these guys here are big bankers, mysterious bankers back from the, you know, like the 19th century, well, 20th century, you know, the ones that created the Fed and things like that. They're all banksters. They're all also very high Freemasons as well, and part of the New World Order. I haven't put them on here, but if you put the Amuro into Google Images, you will see different things again of the Amuro, very similar specimens, and the coins as well. Right now, this was the original plan before all this. The IMF announcement, which we're going to cover in a second, is made up of the American dollar and the euro dollar, and that's how they come up with the word Amuro. Okay, and so now you've got all of Europe and Canada, Canada, North America, Mexico. So then eventually Australia would have to come into the fold as well. Okay, so then that was it. But anyway, suddenly this happens, and again, I've been connected. Talking about this for a while now. I'm glad to see that some of these conspiracies that I deal with in my private blogs, it's great when they start getting onto these big alternative news sites and sometimes into the mainstream media itself, because as you know, the mainstream media is owned by the elites. At least 86% of the world's media is owned by them, and it's one big propaganda machine. You know, they bury a lot of news, and that's what I do. I blog at the news that they are hiding, which is 10 times more interesting. Now, this is what I'm on about. I believe it's going to be October the 20th. This is a thing by, what's this guy's name? He's a guest blog. Tyler Durden. Okay. Knows his stuff. And I've been blogging, like I said, this. Now, I don't think he's actually mentioned the date, but my date I've got is going to be October the 20th. And IMF are going to make an announcement, and that is when China, which says China's premise big. This is that thing that I can't pronounce, the Renminbi, I think it's called, but let's say yuan because I can't pronounce renminbi, as you know. I don't think you can either. But it's the official Chinese currency, but it's also the currency of the BRICS countries, which is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and now South America. Plus they've got about 130 people signed up to this new bank they've created. But this new bank, to rival the IMF, is actually backed by gold. I mean, it's way over $1 billion in gold, whereas the IMF is again backed by fiat money, paper money, and digits and zeros on a computer in cyberspace. So you know what I mean. Money doesn't really exist. Ours doesn't, and this is what it's all about. Because Warren Buffett has been moving out of the stock market for quite a while. I think him and another multi-billionaire bought the Heinz company that made Heinz baked beans, moving into food for some reason out of finance. A lot of other billionaires have been moving steadily, moving money, moving their fortunes bit by bit, so they don't start a panic, into Australia. But some of them are now investing into Asia as well, because these are the emerging countries. We're in Europe. We're struggling. We're still under austerity measures here, and you know, your government's saying, yeah, it's getting better all the time. Like your Obama guy in America, he said the same. And yet, you know, I know people that are coming out of work telling me about big office blocks closing down, and you know, companies streamlining and actually moving out. Walmart's again, they're closing things down. McDonald's, but they're opening up in China and places like that, in these emerging economies. And these are people with inside information, because they're all part of the same club. You know, the secret handshake club, the Freemasons. And you know, the higher up, the more they get told. And so, you know, get out there. And they've been doing this. I've been blogging about this. They've been doing this for years, just slowly getting huge big chunks of the money. They can't take all the fortune and just take it out of America, because that causes a panic, massive big panic, and everybody, you know, follow the money. If they're doing it, they know something I don't know. So all the smaller investors are going to start taking the money out, and then bang, you've got a stock market crash on your hands, and those with billions will actually lose billions because they haven't got all the money out yet, you know, sold their assets or whatever. So this is coming on the 20th. Now, I don't know whether that date is right, but that's what one of my sources told me, who's pretty trustworthy. Around about the 20th. Now, I do think, I've got a feeling that even sites like this, as we get close to the event, more news will be leaked on purpose by the government to kind of like mentally prepare everybody, or subliminally prepare them. But most Americans won't really know what it understand. They say, oh yeah, China's being let into the basket of currencies, which means that you don't have to buy dollars before you can buy oil and gas anymore. From Saudi, because Saudi have just turned around and stabbed America in the back, because America stabbed them in the back with their shale oil. They told the Saudis and all the OPEC companies, oh, cut your oil down so we'll starve Russia. That's, you know, sanction Russia to hurt their economy. But Obama kept his price for the shale oil, and the Saudis don't like that. And they said, well, why should you still get full whack? Are you telling us to take, like, you know, drop it from $100 to $49 dollars a barrel? It's not on. So they've doing a little bit of backstabbing as well, because this regime that controls America now, these entities, you know, George Soros, he's a big backer of Obama, or Barry Soetoro, whatever you want to call him, Durham, whatever his damn name is, we don't know because we haven't seen his birth certificate. But it's the same in all our countries in the West. They're all puppet leaders, they're all puppet governments, they're owned by the corporations and the elite bankers. End of story. Okay? And the ones that want to do this new world order. So here we go. Once this is announced, right, people will more than likely, you think if you was a big investor, what are you going to do? Are you going to buy dollars, paper, or are you going to trade in a currency that you're safe with because it's backed by gold? You know, if anything happens, you're backed, no problem. Okay, it's solid. It's solid, absolutely solid. So maybe again, this is one of my things that I'm picking up on, that Jade Helm is getting set. They won't call it martial law per se, but it will be there to, if they have to clamp down on curfews. We're reading rumours about military taking over Walmart stores. Walmart stores have closed God knows how many big stores down in about 4 or 6 states now, and they've all said that oh, it's the plumbing. I mean, how can you have the same plumbing problem in you know, like 40, 50 stores that are all seem to be in these states that this Jade Helm are declaring as unfriendly. I'm going to explain all that unfriendly in a bit, so Don't sort of run away with it. Don't get the ball and run just yet. But what it is, they could be now posturing themselves because, not for any new world order, what Alex Jones is saying, it's like just in case the banks go on a bank holiday, and as I explained, a bank holiday in Europe is a holiday, a bank holiday in America is a different thing. It means you can't get your money out of your bank, or you're going to be limited to how much you can draw out. Because once this money starts leaving, everybody's going to be a panic. There's going to be a big run on the banks, and when they can't get the money, well, the Americans are armed, aren't they? You know what I mean? So it gets more interesting as we go deeper down this rabbit hole, trust me. So there is your first one. So now you've seen the big military build-up already. We know years ago there've been all these vast, massive big trains with green painted military vehicles on them, green camouflage, which is urban camouflage. In other words, they weren't destined to for the Middle East, which is where all the trouble was at the time, you know, Iraq and Afghanistan. They're the desert colours, the beige colours. Now there's a lot of beige colours being seen on trains, but also remember beige can also, well, it's a bit of a blinder. It's in case anybody sees them, they can say, oh yeah, destined for the Middle East, but they're not. They're disappearing. They can go into a factory, and that beige is actually the same undercoat they use anyway. It's the prime colour before they start doing the green spray them green, you know, for urban warfare. You've seen all those on the previous video. They're all green already, and they're saying there's only 1,200 troops involved in all these states. That's a load of rubbish. On that video you just saw, you tell me, I'll tell you now, there's more than 1,200 troops there just in that one camp, and there's lots and lots of these camps all over. There's more than you're being told. Okay, so again, this could be the sign of the crash of the dollar, and Jade Helm is there to try and keep some order just in case the Americans kick off and saying, look, you know, we demand our money. Because I'll tell you, after the looting's over, there's going to be gas shortages, and my friend in New York has already told me there's quite a few gas stations just been closing there recently and boarding up for no reason at all, and I think they are reserved for the military, for military use. And don't forget, June and September, this military drill, but I mean, you know, that's when it's designated for, and yet you've seen that video. I don't know how old it is, but I do know that I've been seeing videos about this build-up for many, many weeks now. So why are they getting postured? They should do it all at once. If this is a military operation, then, you know, the same we're practicing here, you know, for other countries, then they should have started it in June. Because it's a military operation, you've got to find out what the response of the public's going to be when they start seeing foreign troops coming in, you know. So they're doing it very, very, very sneaky, okay? So anyway, that is the first one. And now we're going through the smoke and mirrors, and now we're going to be whittling all this down to the truth. So that's the first option. There's going to be a dollar crash, which I've been predicting for years, and it's one that I keep renewing every year. Some of them I say, look, I got it wrong, guys, sorry, you know, I'm an idiot, thank you, and I'll bury it, and that's it forever, okay? But when I keep renewing them, a lot of predictions I've renewed over the years have actually come true, and this is one of them. And don't forget, because this is man-made, like earthquakes, you can't control them. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, end of story. But when they're manipulated by men, when these agendas are manipulated by men, they can put them on the back burner for a while if nothing's going wrong. So I think this dollar was meant to crash quite a while ago, but they've tried to keep it going. They were just about to do it, and I think the Chinese have found out about it, and the Russians, and that's why they set this alternative bank up to IMF. And I'll tell you what, all the other countries are flocking to my friends. So it looks like it won't lose its status as a world reserve, but it will be devalued as a world currency. And once everybody starts going for the new gold-backed currency to trade with, then you're going to see a massive big crash of the dollar, and all hell will break loose in America. Okay, so then that's option number 2. Let's go on to option number 3. Okay.